Hello, 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 guys. Thank you so much for tuning in for another interview with King Solomon Entertainment. We want to thank you guys so much for your support as we continue to bring you great interviews with diverse perspective and positive content as we begin to bring you wonderful, great guests and cover wonderful topics. And today is no exception. We have another great guest here on King Solomon Entertainment, KS News. And so we cannot do what we do without first thanking our partners. We want to thank hearttoheartforyou.org, heal2heal.org. We want to thank Coma Massage Therapy on comamassages.com. We want to thank Dr. Amanda Rosette Physical Therapy at rosettephysicaltherapy.org. We also want to thank GQAutoConnect.com for their wonderful partnership. If you guys want to be a partner with us, please reach out to us at our official website, KingSolomonEntertainment.tv. Our email is on there. Connect with us, how you can be a partner, and we can also partner with you and let everybody know about the wonderful work that you're doing. And everybody that you hear us mention as far as partners, please reach out to them, let them know you heard about it on the KS News platform, King Solomon Entertainment. They'll give you the King Solomon discount. Thank you guys so much. We here, and also this is a perfect time for you guys to subscribe. If you have not subscribed already, please subscribe to us on YouTube as well as Instagram as well as Facebook. Right there in the title, as you can see, we are on Instagram, King_Solomon_ENT_CO_. Make sure you subscribe. Also, King Solomon Media Group on Facebook as well as YouTube with King Solomon Entertainment. Also, you could type up my name and we're on YouTube as well. Make sure you guys subscribe and share this video. Wonderful, great content and more great interviews coming. If you want to support us directly, please, that's our Cash App. Everything you donate go directly to the platform as we continue to move forward and the vision of this platform. And so without further ado, we're definitely going to get started with this wonderful, great interview. We have a wonderful, great guest today. She is a member of the Black Chamber of Commerce, Long Beach, CEO of ITTV, Intellectual Television, and an influencer, the host of Ask Sharifah, the video podcast, as well as the podcast. She's the author of Signs You Might Be an Entrepreneur, How to Discover the Entrepreneur in You. She's a consultant. She's just a person that's changing the scope of entertainment, media, and a lot of other, and as well as technology. She's definitely making a difference. And we're so happy to have Sharifah Hardie on the platform today. Thank you so much for being on here today.
You are so welcome. Thank you for the opportunity. I am grateful. Just wanted to make a slight correction. I'm the president of the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce for the Long Beach area, and that includes the surrounding cities of Carson, Bellflower, Lakewood, Torrance, Norwalk, Cerritos, and Linwood.
Yes, thank you so much. That's why I always tell people, when I do the intro, if I missed anything, please fill in, because it's wonderful, and it's wonderful what you're doing. And when I seen what you were doing on social media, I definitely reached out to you because I thought it was phenomenal what you're doing. Now, please explain to the people in detail what it is that you do in regards to Black business commerce and as a business consultant.
Well, those are two different aspects, but they come together. As a business consultant, I've spent the last 25 years helping businesses to grow. I built my first website in 1994, and I was a .com baby. I was someone who helped start up companies from perks.com to almost.com. I was one of the people who built the original website for cheaptickets.com. So I was always building websites. And so over this journey, I just learned a lot about the internet and learned a lot about business. So my day job is being a business consultant that's helping all business owners, not just Black owned businesses, but all business owners to grow their businesses through marketing, online marketing, social media marketing, and PR. So after going through last year, 2020, in a global pandemic, what I saw was so much of the government funding, the PPP funds, went to other businesses and other races. Only about 3% of the funding went to minority owned businesses. And when you say minority owned businesses, that's not just Black businesses. So I said something had to be done. So I reached out to the main chapter of the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce. And I said, we have to have a Black Chamber of Commerce here in Long Beach. So we opened it here in April, was our first meeting. We've been meeting every month since then. We're growing. We have a meeting July 21st here in Long Beach at Greater Harvest Church. And I'm just excited because so many people have opened their arms and their doors to be able to assist us. Greater Harvest Church has come on board. Derek's on Atlantic has come on board. George's Restaurant in the Long Beach Exchange has come on board. Bonnie Loves Travel has come on board. Jordan's Rooter and Plumbing has come on board. There's so many businesses that have come on board because we need to support each other and grow our businesses.
No, absolutely. It's a wonderful idea. And then when you're actually doing the work and you seeing it happen, that definitely makes the difference because we all believe, unfortunately, a lot of social norms that are not true, a lot of narratives that's not true, that we don't help each other, but we actually do. And when you actually see entrepreneurs coming together, it's just a beautiful thing to witness it. That dispels all myths and rumors and things that are untrue. So, like I said, it's a wonderful, phenomenal thing that you're doing. How did this all begin for you, Sharifah? To do it. I know you went back to say when you first started, but in your mind, what started the entrepreneurship kind of passion you have today?
Well, in 1994, what ignited that passion was I was a teenage mother. And even in 1994, what I knew was the internet was the only way I was going to be able to stay at home with my children and be able to raise money. I knew then that the internet would allow me the freedom to be successful, but also stay at home with my kids. I wanted to be there when they took their first steps. I wanted to be there when they said their first words. And I figured if I could hire someone and pay them to do childcare, then why couldn't this be my job? So more than the success, more than the business, more than entrepreneurs, my focus was I wanted to be at home with my children. And now in 2021, we're seeing a shift where so many people are realizing that, we need to put family first. It's not about the almighty dollar. And so that really was my focus in finding ways to be able to stay at home with my children.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so now it has grew into this, and one of your main goals is to bring Black businesses and all business. You don't just do Black business, all business together. Because one of the challenging things you mentioned, the PPP program, it was as if people knew about it, they said it, but how do you implement these resources? A lot of African American business did not even know the correct information. They didn't have the same access to inequality of it, and the distribution of it was so disproportionate, and the disparity was so real, even to this day. And then when they changed the rules this year, a lot of people still have not gotten the right information. And so, what do you say about that? Like, shouldn't it have been some like training for those to do this, the loans, or what, in your opinion, what you feel like should have happened?
In my opinion, and again, I'll state for the record, this is merely my opinion, but this was the opinion that made me launch the Black Chamber of Commerce here in Long Beach, because I saw two things happen simultaneously. It wasn't just the government saying we do not want to fund these Black businesses. It was the perfect storm of an opportunity where businesses benefited, and many of the Black owned businesses hadn't positioned themselves for that funding. I spoke with someone who had been in business for 30 years. No exaggeration, literally 30 years, and did not have an EIN number. I spoke with businesses who weren't actually in business. And even before the pandemic, even before PPP funding, at my speaking engagements is often something I speak of, in that asking the question, are you operating a business or are you operating a hustle? Now, there's no judgment either way. If you want to hustle, hustle, baby, hustle. But when you come to get government funding, they're going to look for certain requirements. Do you have a business account, or are you doing all of your business through Cash App? You know, people do business through Cash App, PayPal, or whatever for various reasons because they want to make transactions off the grid and off record, and it's just money being passed through from friend to friend. But when you're going for government assistance, your business has to be set up a certain way. So I said, you know what? My people suffer from lack of knowledge. So the information and the knowledge was available, and it's been available for years. But because we set up our businesses and tend to set up our businesses in a certain way, and that's not a generalization or say all Black businesses are owned and operated this way, but I saw many Black businesses who had not positioned themselves for that government funding. So I said, I have to do something. Just like our mixer on July 21st, we have a lovely representative. She's amazing. Her name is Lisa Hamilton. Lisa Hamilton works for the IRS. She is an IRS representative. She's coming in and speaking and doing a presentation for the business owners and teaching them what they need to know. Many businesses, maybe they did have an EIN number, but they hadn't filed taxes for their business at all. Or maybe they hadn't filed taxes for their business in the last 15 years, 5 years. And the point of the PPP is to go in and ask for help based on what you have lost. So if you're unable to show a loss or even any filings that you've done or what your business has earned, how can you go and ask for money that you never have asked for or stated that you earned in the past? So we just have to get better at setting up our businesses so that when something happens, a tragedy of this magnitude happen, and God forbid it ever happens again, no matter what it is or what situation, we need some type of assistance or funding, or maybe it's not even assistance. It's maybe we want to grow our business or expand our business, or better yet, go ahead and sell your business. But unless you have documentation showing your business and showing the value of your business and that your business is in place, is it an S Corp? Is it a C Corp? It makes it very difficult because you may be earning money, but you don't show up anywhere as an actual business.
Yeah, no, that's actually I like your critique of that, and that's very good. But I just want to play. I don't like to use the term devil's advocate. I like to use angel's counsel, and lots of times it's a cultural thing, and not necessarily from a business owner standpoint. But a lot of customers might say, "I prefer to pay with Cash App. I prefer to pay with." Venmo and all these other new phenomenons electronically because where people are, they're remote, especially during the pandemic, people were remote, and just it's easier because that's how they do their transaction. Now, the information is how do I transfer that? Because there is a tracking of sales because it's there in your memory, but how can I put this on the bookkeeping and make it legit in regards to that? So a lot of times the information is there, the accuracy is there, and the legitimacy is there, but the transferring of skill sets that qualify you, because a lot of Black business owners were qualified, but they didn't have that information, they didn't have the know-how, and a lot of other groups did, and they was receiving it right away, and so a lot of times, even when the people at large, the masses at large don't understand something, they have a way of finding out. And then they have a people that can help them when they're missing something. And it's like automatically they say, well, okay, I can just do that. Send me this, because I have a lot of people that are non-African American that say, well, send me your credit card statement. And they could do something with that. So it just seems like it's not a criticism, but the information and the accuracy is there because the transaction is there. A lot of people do have a legitimate business, but the customers prefer to pay a certain way. But the legitimacy is there. What do you say about that? Because they still did not receive the right information to qualify for these funding, but the accuracy and information was definitely there.
You have a point, but you're going in two different directions.
Okay.
There are many businesses who accept money through cash and through Cash App, but because they have an accounting process, they're able to show a record of the cash that they receive. But what I'm saying is when you just accept any type of cash and you put that cash in your pocket and you go on with your life and you're not documenting that cash that you received, then it's not going towards your business as far as revenue that you have received. So that's one point. The other point that I always make to business owners is when I look at business and the way I've learned to look at business is I don't look at business culturally in any form or fashion. I look at business as business. So when you say this is the way they do it culturally, that may be true. That may be 100% accurate, but does that make it correct? Because my customers may prefer something, but I'm the business owner. And that's one of the things that I talk to businesses about setting their boundaries, setting their rules, their guidelines, their operation processes and procedures. Every customer is not necessarily going to like it, but if these are your practices and your processes and procedures, that's the way you operate. So I can use the example in saying I have a preference. I can walk into Albertsons right now and tell Albertsons, you know what? I prefer to pay you in chocolate chips. Does my preference change the payments that they accept? No, we have to have a business practice that is what the business designates, not what the customers designate. And that's part of what we do is we look as Black people and Black businesses, we look at it more culturally. And we say, well, our culture does this, but has that culture been successful? But on the other hand, the problem that I have is that I believe, in my opinion, that we're harder on Black businesses than any other business. What I fight with is people who say, well, you know, Black businesses have bad customer service. Black businesses, they open up late. Okay, well, I can go to my Vons down the street and I get in line. The cashier doesn't even greet me. She doesn't speak to me. She doesn't say good morning to me, right? And I'm like, good morning. How are you? How are you doing? You know, you're a greeter. That's part of your job. Your job description includes greeting me. That's what you're supposed to do. But nobody goes to Yelp and gives Albertsons or Vons or Valvoline or Bixby Nose Car Wash a 1-star rating because the cashier didn't smile. But if it's a Black business, we hold that Black business to such a high level, and we want to critique them because they're a Black business. But if some other business does exactly the same thing, we don't even notice it. But we weigh our Black businesses, and that's the part that I want to get away from, is the image and the look that people have about Black businesses.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Let's talk a little bit about your book, How to Discover the Entrepreneurship in You. What are some of the key points about your book that you talk about?
The book teaches people how to become an entrepreneur. And I wrote that book because so many people were asking for a consultation. And one of the things that I would continuously hear is people say, oh, I know I'm an entrepreneur because I hate my boss. I know I'm an entrepreneur because I don't like to work. And I'm like, okay, first of all, most entrepreneurs work 20 hours a day. They sleep so it's not about not wanting to work. It's not about hating your boss. What I have found 10 out of 10 times with every entrepreneur, regardless of race, regardless of culture, whatever they're doing is something that they have started and stopped. It's something that they have to do. It's something that they can't stop doing if they wanted to. Many people, like for myself, I consider it a calling. Everything that I do, I was called to do. God called me to do this, to be of service to entrepreneurs. It's not about a job or quitting a job, letting go from a job. I was laid off 8 times. And my first book, that's actually my second book, but my first book was about God kept closing the door. That's why I got laid off 8 times, because God clearly told me, he said, Sharifah, I want you to help people. And I said, I'm not helping them people. I was like, have you seen people, God? Like, have you met people? I know you designed them, but have you met any of these people? And God said, I want you to help people. And I didn't want to do that. So it took me 8 times. I mean, and some of those times when God said, help people, I said, no, I'm going to get a job. And more than once, literally, I would get laid off 6 months to the day. I was thinking I was safe. I was in the right place. I got this job. 6 months later, I'd be laid off. I'd be laid off right after receiving a perfect attendance award. I'd be laid off right after receiving Employee of the Month award. I was laid off right after receiving a 99% performance review saying you're a wonderful employee. And it was always, it's not you, Sharifah, it's us. It's the business. I mean, because I was never fired. Companies relocated to Fort Lauderdale. Companies laid off 4,000 employees. Companies closed completely. Companies didn't receive their second round of funding. And I'm back on the unemployment line. Each and every time I heard God say, I want you to help people. And it wasn't until the last few times that I said to myself, okay, I hear and I obey. And when I learned to hear and obey, then I began to see all these doors open. And I said, how can I be of service? Which brought me to my second book again. And I began to teach people how to be a successful entrepreneur. What are the things that you need to learn? What are the things that you need to do in order to be successful?
Yeah. But I just what I was trying to articulate, and I agree everything you're saying is wonderful what you're saying. But lots of times when you gather this information and you want to be of service to people, what I was saying is when you hear people go through and articulate their locutions the best to their ability, you can see everything they have is there. They just don't know how to express it properly. So all I was saying is like lots of time it's legitimate, but one of the services that I can provide is to help them to transfer those skill sets into becoming successful entrepreneurs and to be good bookkeepers that requires you to be on books and according to cooperate with what's required by law and by state so you can meet those requirements to get funding and everywhere else to that makes it legitimate that what you're doing, your legitimate business according to every standard.
Correct.
That's what's important. So I think that's one of the great services also that's inclusive in everything else that you provide. So it's a wonderful thing. So long-term goal wise, what is the goal here? What do Sharifah's vision as a result of all this?
Well, I'm changing the world. That's the nuts and the bolts of it. But along the way, it's just helping the business owners. I'm running for Senate in 2024. So I'm going back into politics. I ran for city council in 2020. 2024 is Senate. I'm the campaign manager for Michelle Lyons for Congress for 2022. So my focus is just working with people to inspire people to create businesses. Business is my passion more than anything else. I really live by, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense, because there are so many people who are struggling and they're hungry. And I'm not sure, King Solomon, where you're located, but I live in Long Beach, California. And when I get on the freeway, there are tents, not just one tent, but there are rows and rows and families living in tents under the freeway. And until we create businesses, we can never create these jobs. So to me, if you create the business, then you can create the job that feeds the family. So we have so many people who are hurting right now. So my focus again is how can I help those people? How can I serve those people? I also assist business owners, and this is part of the process I was talking about earlier, is one of the things that I see when we discuss culture and in our Black businesses, we have so many people who say, well, you know what, I've been in business for 40 years. I've been in business for 25 years, and I applaud those people. Congratulations. I'm happy for you. But after 40 years, and not to judge anybody, but hey, it is what it is. I feel that you should have employees. 40 years, 25 years, the whole point is to expand and to grow, to create jobs. So often we get so comfortable at this job that pays us just enough for us to live our lives. But if you expand your business, if you incorporate, if you create an actual business with an actual product or service, then you're able to employ others. So that's what I want to help people do, not just to create their business, but to expand their business so that you create opportunities for other people.
Yeah, it's an amazing what you're doing, and it's so needed. And that's what's so great about it, because the means to an end is that, yeah, it's employment, but the vision is bigger than that. It solves a lot of other issues, like you said, homelessness problem we have, as well as community. We establish communal and all the other things that's important that makes a great community. Employment, vision, manhood, because you could self-employ or employ yourself, and all these other things that you desire to have in life that completes the life. And it's amazing what you're doing as far as restoring and replenishing, which it seems like everything else is happening that it takes it away from life. And what you're doing is replenishing it with things that is definitely needed. It's a beautiful thing. We're here today, everybody. On Instagram, Facebook, I see you. YouTube, I see you. LinkedIn, everybody, I see you. We're here with Sharifah Hardie, the president of the Black Chamber of Commerce of Long Beach and the surrounding cities. You guys know Carson, all the surrounding cities, the Dominguez Hills, all those wonderful cities around the city of Long Beach. She's the president of the Black Chamber of Commerce. So if you're in them areas, definitely reach out to President Sharifah Hardie. She's author of Signs you might be an entrepreneur, as well as other books she wrote. She's a consultant, a radio personality. We're so glad to have her on here, giving us great information about business, about entrepreneurship, about services you may qualify for, being a business, things you should have in place. If you're saying you are a legit business, we have to definitely raise the standard. I totally agree with you. It's amazing what you're doing. Tell people how they can get in touch with you, what you're working on, what you got coming up, please.
Yes, I'm very, very, very excited about one of the things that everything that I have coming up. But one of the things I'm very excited about is I'm not sure if you're familiar with Mr. Paul Mooney, but Paul Mooney was a comedic legend. He was a genius, somebody that I dearly loved. We lost him. He passed away a little while ago, and that was a loss to the world. But his two sons, Daryl and Dwayne Mooney, are traveling the world, traveling the country, giving a tribute to their father. And we're bringing Daryl and Dwayne Mooney, better known as the Mooney Twins, to Long Beach on August 7th. They will be at Long Beach August 7th at Greater Harvest, and they're doing a wealth seminar. They're teaching people how to create wealth, not only personal wealth, but wealth for the community. So I'm very excited about that. Again, that's August 7th with the Mooney Twins. And then in general, it's just so much going on. We're working on production for my television network, which is again IT, which stands for intellectual television, because I don't watch anything that's ratchet. If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. So I'm looking for content. I'm creating content that allows people to think. And I'm a consultant. And if anyone has questions, I always tell people, ask Sharifah. And you can find me at asksharifah.com.
Amazing. Amazing. Everything that you are working on, everything that you are doing is just cutting the edge, and is what's needed. Is the demand that I'm hearing that people are either trying to do or want to do, or just looking for. And so you definitely have a lot of answers that's going to help a lot of people. We're so excited that you decided to come on. Definitely come back. And business is perennial all the time. So I'm sure there'll be other things that you can come back and empower us with, because you have a lot of information, a lot of knowledge that can definitely help our viewers and help people that we want to reach. You know what I'm saying? So we thank you so much for that. Definitely friend to the show, author, radio personality, podcast consultant, president of Black Business Commerce, Chamber of Commerce of Long Beach, Sharifah Hardie. We thank you so much. And also, she's going to be candidate 2024 Senate. So definitely look out for that. So definitely get that up and going. You want to participate in her campaign and just get involved, plug into her, connect with her, follow her, and see what she's doing. Wonderful, great things. We're so glad to have you on, Sharifah. Let me do the outro. Stay put. Thank you so much. See you next time, Sharifah. Thank you guys. Another great interview with King Solomon News on King Solomon Entertainment. We have the wonderful author, president of Black Chamber of Commerce, Sharifah Hardie, giving us wonderful information about entrepreneurship. Wonderful. And surely she'll be back. She's a friend to the show. If you have not subscribed, please take this time out to subscribe to us on YouTube, King Solomon Entertainment, on Instagram, King_Solomon_ENT_CO_, as well as Twitter and Facebook, King Solomon Media Group. We thank you guys so much. Share this video. Until next time, guys.